Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Haller again, and we're talking about my IOPS training programs. And with me today is Tanya Shklanka. It's a Ukrainian name. And she's a participant in the present IOPS 2024. And so I'm going to ask her a few questions about her experience of being in IOPS. She's a highly trained practitioner and has been involved in the training process in Feldenkrais related trainings for a long time, I believe. So, Tanya, if you wouldn't mind, please share a little bit about yourself and how it was that you got to IOPS before we go on.
I would describe myself as a lifelong learner. I'm always curious to add more tools to my toolbox. And how did I find out about you? I think it was through Claire, actually, who I'm doing the program with.
Right.
And
Claire came for my self-organization class, the prerequisite
yes,
to the training.
yeah. And so I ordered it, and it wasn't that one; it was an earlier version.
Right.
And I did it online myself, and it was such a refreshing change, and the way that you work is different from other ways that I've been taught. Your teaching is very practical, and that I was finding that I was struggling with working with high performers, struggling with really being able to help people move, walk, sit to stand. I'd learned it, but that it wasn't as powerful as what I was learning from the program with you.
So
And
you're referring to a set of online tapes of one of the self-organization programs. Was it self-organization again and again and again, or was it another one?
no, it was another one. It was an older one.
Yeah.
It was an older one. Yeah, I can text it to you
We
when
don't
I
need
go
to
back
we
into
don't need to
the
look into
library.
it, but just so people know that if you're going to want to register for IOPS, the IOPS means Ideal Organization and Profound Strength. And it's a course that I first taught in 2014. And so I've taught several variations or versions of the class. But the prerequisite is to understand the basic biomechanics of how we support ourselves. And so Claire's talking now about that experience of going through learning to support herself relative to especially working at the table relative to giving functional integration lessons. So what did you discover?
To go into, so I kind of want to talk about what I've been discovering and noticing in the last few months, and then I can probably work my way backwards
let's just go wherever it's the easiest
to
for you.
there.
Yeah.
Because this is what's so present. So I don't want to just help people learn to walk better. I want people, and this is what's so beautiful about the work, is when you start to work with walking, you work with the brain and you create these global changes that bring you more into who you are.
Yes.
That sense of self. And it's always been a big part of the work that I do, but I haven't had the experience of understanding it on a very physical way. And just the way that we're working, that you've been creating content that it sounds so obvious, but the organization of the body and that flexion, and where the peripheral vision disappears, and then the way that you can change just the outlook, and not just in how you see, but that it's a whole effect in terms of sense of self, and that these subtleties in terms of moving and the way that the foot and the pelvis and the spine and how the force travels up and how it organizes sitting and how it organizes standing and walking is a moment to moment reflection of selfhood and that essence that we have.
How a person can embrace life.
And embracing life. And it's so, it's such the way that you tie it together, it's very powerful. And to me, it brings it into this more tangible expression, because I always have struggled with, how do I explain this work? How do I explain how powerful this work can be when somebody will come and have one lesson and be like, wow, I feel really relaxed, which is wonderful.
Right.
But that the power is in the process and this layer upon layer of learning. So I think that for me, my experience of starting to work with you in the last, I guess it's almost 2 years now, has been, it's always an evolution in my sense of self, but that as I evolve my sense of self, my ability to practice, I attract more clients. Every time I come back from a training, every time I do, there's always a jump. And it's not me going out and hunting it down. It's this, it sounds so bizarre, but it's this like thing that happens. And that I come back with new tools that I can work with clients that I've had for years, and suddenly they're popping as well. So I'm losing my sort of train of where I'm wanting to go with it, but that to come back again to the very beginning of what I wanted was like this really, I've got a busy practice. So for me, it was more about, how can I be of more assistance to my clients that are high performers? How can I be more skilled at seeing? And that's what I initially signed up for, because I could sense that that's what one of the big things I was going to learn, how to see, how to I can see somebody come in the door and I get a sense of them and I can see some very basic qualities, but down to these things that we're studying today and what we're talking about today. It's so exciting to me.
So Claire's talking about today, we had a mentoring class. Part of the way that
Tanya
works is we have 4 live segments. I'm sorry, Tanya.
Okay, we were talking about Claire.
You were talking about Claire.
We're two practitioners and 2 really good friends.
I'm older than dirt. I get to make mistakes. So, but what Tanya's talking about is that IOPS is 4 live segments after the prerequisite of self-organization, which you can study through DVDs. But there are 4 live segments, that one of them that deals with how we see patterns. The second one has to do with what is internal strength and how do we find internal stability. The third segment is perspectives on walking. And the fourth segment is how do we coalesce and create functional integration lessons. Between those segments, we have live mentoring classes with homework. There are homework requirements, and the homework requirement today was to record one of your clients walking, and then to discuss for the rest of your classmates. Discuss, what was it that you saw? What do you see when you're watching? And then today we pulled up videos of some of the people in class so that we could watch, and then my colleague Andrew Gibbons and we start to help people see more and more specific details from which the practice of functional integration can really grow when you see and understand the details. So that's what Tanya's talking about. So I jumped in, but I think it's important to get the news out.
No, absolutely. And the way that you and Andrew work together, it's actually it's like you both have these moments where you jump in and it's such valuable information, and the questions that you both ask of us, um, it's really informative, and it takes it to every time we have one of these meetings, it's like taking it to the next level,
Right.
pushing to the next level of understanding and challenge and how to see.
Right.
And um and all the examples that you used today, it was amazing. Like starting with vitality with somebody who struggles just with basic ability to balance and even be upright, to a professional dancer. So it was fabulous,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. No, the nature of the course is that's why it's a 2-year course with 4 live segments, which is to really help a person weave a finer cloth, have a better way to magnetize clients to themselves, because they are a potent magnet. They, like you were saying, all of a sudden your clients are coming to you. Well, they're coming to you because you've entered into a state yourself that is so much more complete, that you're inviting people in a way that you don't have. It's a pre-verbal world. You don't have to, advertise. People are going to come. They're just going to be attracted to your door.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's how it seems to work. It's quite remarkable, and it's very hard to explain to people.
yeah, in general, we can say that. I mean, the IOPS programs that I've run there has always been a significant uptick for the people who join the IOPS for their practices to grow. It is a useful investment for.
Yeah, I would agree. And the other thing that is really special about the program that you offer is that there's this real sense of mentorship, and a real sense that you and Andrew are you're engaged in helping each one of us,
Right.
and to the point where I mean I missed the last time, but Andrew will jump on and say, I'm going to, do something tomorrow for an hour to help whoever.
Right.
That's never been my experience in doing a training. And I've done a fair number of trainings in my life where there's this real desire to see the students just take off. And not that, of course, everybody wants you to do well and they support you, but within the this very specific construct.
One of the things that's really clear that I think that you'll relate to is that how hands-on we are. That, I mean, when we're broken up into practice sessions, that Andrew and I are right there and available not only for questions, but we're gonna enter into the very nature of the conversation that you're having with the person on the table, and both as a receiver of lessons and as someone who's giving the lesson, how is it that you can utilize and optimize the experience of the lesson process. I mean, we're always jumping in to, well, how about this? And oh, by the way, if you were just to find this little bit change in support, and you were in your hands, and you could just find this support into your hands in such a way, what's the change in your experience of contact now? And that's
And then there's massive paradigm shift and everything changes
exactly.
in the person's life, in my life. I'm just like, how did that happen?
You were recently here and had a couple lessons with me. Would you be willing to share some of your experience in the lessons? Because it was stunning, actually, the experience I think that we had together in the lessons.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I came down for 4 lessons, and you asked me, what I wanted out of the lessons, and I'd come in and I never get injured, but I had a twisted knee that was so swollen. And I'm like, well, I have a twisted knee, but I really don't care. it's going to heal. But I think I asked you, I want to be more intentional in my life. This is where I'm at. And and so I was like, I want to be more intentional. And that was what you worked with when you worked with, and my knee was better within the first day, and it's fine now. But the sense of coming up to sit, and the way that I walk, and how I find the contact with the floor in order to take step, and the learning for me in terms of my experience, and the change that happened over those 2 days was profound on a very physical level. But there was just such a huge shift in terms of my sense of self, and my sense of how I am, and navigate the world, and the quiet, like the profound
Peace,
quiet,
tranquility
it's just magical. There's no ADHD medication that can recreate the depth and that sense that everybody, that I'm after. And so there's this my own personal path that I'm on, and my own personal growth. But at the same time, the material that I can use, because I'm experiencing it.
Yes.
Way that you're bringing in material that I'm studying, and applying it to my own experience of having a lesson. And it's quite remarkable, because it's like everything, it seems completely overwhelming, and it is, but it just is, it's very profound.
Right. That's why it says profound strength, but it's not physical strength. It is a high level of integrity.
Yes. And the
Dignity.
following weeks, it was like noticing these shifts that continue to happen. And I think I'm going to do that differently in my life, or I'm going to handle this situation differently, and how I'm working with my clients. Of course, immediately I'm like, wow, that was super cool. I'm going to try that. But just your skill, Jeff, like when you were working with my neck, and you're like, oh, have you ever had a concussion? And my immediate response was, I don't think so. Oh, yeah. And it's like, boom, and then, the memories as you worked with my neck, with all the traumas that then I relived, and they were emotional, they were big. The circuit accident, it was a big trauma that I'd pretty much forgotten about, just like I healed and I moved on, but my neck, hadn't. And that level of healing on a psychic, on an emotional, was also, I mean, there's just so many layers to what happened over those 2 days.
Right. Yeah. I'm so fortunate to have I've spent many, many years in a very insular way to just go back into this autodidactic. What am I experiencing? What am I feeling? What are the basic principles that Moshe elucidated and was trying to elicit within us? And then have spent so many years inside of all that material, and with the intention of making it possible that I could share it with other practitioners to become more and more refined in their ability to act with their students. Mm-hmm. So, and it doesn't stop. I mean, I love every group that comes, but I also love the practice that I have, because that's one of the things that's a part of my life is I practice every day. I have clients every day, and it really is a place where I can take ideas that come to me, fortunately, that come to me, and explore. So
yeah, curiosity. Yeah. I mean, its true, in its truest form without the judgment, and that it's very hard to find in this world.
What else do you care to share to this public that might be listening to you and me quacking away here? Anything else? Anything else you'd care to share?
It's an extremely affordable. You know, your pricing is just very low for the experience and the opportunity to have this opportunity to have a career that just changes lives and it changed my life as every day.
Right.
It's just working in the present, and you know, I think if people are wondering whether to do it, just do it. Really, because I mean, I've got like degrees, I've got a master's, I've got this, I've got so much schooling that I've done in my life.
Right.
And for sure, this is hands down the most profound kind of learning that you can do.
Huh, that's very sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's touching me.
Well, it's
Really?
yeah. I mean, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
And to so many people.
Yeah. All right. Claire, it's been delicious. It's been wonderful. It's been,
Tanya.
oh God, I did it again. Ah! Tanya, shoot me. It's time for me to just put me out to pasture. I'm only going to do a few more of these things before I go out to pasture, you know? Tanya, thank you so much. Appreciate
Bear
it.
enough.
Just bear with me. I'll
So there you go.
Well, you called me Andrew, so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. All right.
Have a good.
All right. Oh, I'm
All
trying
right.
to turn off this recording.